Welcome back, everyone. Spring and summer is a time for new growth and taking bold action together. So we hope these stories will inspire you to live boldly, take wise chances, and with our friends and family make a difference together. Today, we're continuing our stories of The American Story, 102 Tales from American History by Jennifer Armstrong and illustrated by Roger Roth. So lean in with the spirit of adventure, grab a friend, and let's enjoy the story together. 1942, Chain Reaction. Holiday shoppers turned their coat collars up as they went in and out of the stores on Michigan Avenue. The slow clang of bells from sidewalk Santa seemed like a Oh, no? Okay. So you're going to ditch me. Monotonous warning. Get inside, winter's here. Get inside, winter's here. America had been in the war for a year now. Ever since the bombing of Pearl Harbor last December in the Chicago department stores, mothers chose warm wool socks for their soldier sons in Europe, or wondered if the Navy would allow their boys in the Pacific to wear a nice plaid collar shirt for shore leave. Outside, thick gray clouds hung over the football stadium in the University of Chicago, and the wind blew old ticket stubs and programs through the stands. Oh, goodness. Below the stadium seats, in an unused squash court, men in overalls had spent days making a pile of graphite and uranium blocks. The workmen didn't know what they were doing, just following instructions from that Italian physics professor who was running the experiment, something called the Manhattan Project, in spite of it being in Chicago. These workers were awaiting their draft notices, hoping they wouldn't be called up before the holidays were over. In the meantime, here they were, stacking block after block into the pile, while physicists and lab assistants checked their calculations over and over. Would it be safe? Oh, the answer is no. The answer is 100% no. Did they have their figures right? Dr. Fermi, have you considered? Enrico Fermi had been in the United States for 4 years, ever since fleeing fascist Italy with his Jewish wife. He knew all too well that he had left behind in Europe, a group of physicists who were on the same trail he was. They were in a race to split the atom. The United States government was waiting anxiously to see who would get there first, because whoever got there first would be able to make. But nobody spoke about that in the squash court on December 2nd. Fermi had checked and rechecked his calculations, and he was satisfied that it was time to run the experiment. His measurements told him that the pile had reached the critical mass needed to sustain a nuclear chain reaction. He and his colleagues watched from the balcony above the squash court as the control rods were drawn out of the pile. The fission began, and the homemade reactor produced nuclear power for 28 minutes before they shut it down. A member of the team telephoned the Manhattan Project's Military Policy Committee with a coded message. The Italian navigator has just landed in the New World, which meant the nuclear age has arrived. The note says, in nuclear fission, a splittable atom is hit with the neuron that causes the atom to divide, neutron that causes the atom to divide, releasing another neutron that causes the next atom to split, and so on. A controlled chain reaction that produces energy. If a different element is used in the fission, the split generates 2 neutrons, so that the other 2 atoms divide and they each release 2 neutrons, which means the next 4 atoms split, then 8, then 16, and so on. This leads to an uncontrolled and explosive release of energy, an atomic bomb.